So grief for everyone is completely different, and there is no right or wrong way to grieve. You're not given a rule book. But I believe that grief after someone takes their own life is, in my opinion, something I have never experienced in my life. And that's what I want to talk about tonight.
Step into your power, feel it rise. No more.
So personally, I didn't find out that my mum had taken her own until 4 years later. So grief for me happened in 6 stages. 3 when I initially grieved, and then 3 when I found out the reason. And I'll tell you what those stages are. Stage 1, from the initial finding out that she had passed, was shock and absolute disbelief. I had no emotion. Like, I was very numb, was more focused on getting ready for school the following day. Probably didn't feel real. It felt like a dream, is the only way I can explain it. Um, yeah, and it took a good few days for the news to actually process. But yeah, disbelief was by far the thing that I can say took over me in that first few days. Stage 2, I think, after the shock, is the same for everyone. That's when the sadness kicks in, the heartache. And it happened to me, I think it was the Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I woke up and I was sick, violently sick. And that's when it hit me out of nowhere, and it all became very real very fast. I remember sat and just cried for the, like, whatever was left of the night. And that laid heavy on me for a little bit, and I think it just all became real in that moment. That stage kind of lasted, I'd say, for a good few weeks. So because the cause was that she'd taken her own life, there was an inquest, so the funeral was like probably a little bit longer than a normal, like, standard time. So I think it was like 3-4 weeks, where back then I think it was kind of like a 2 week thing. But once we'd had the inquest and we could go ahead, I think up until that point it was the upset and the hurt. But then straight away after the funeral, adaptation, realisation that life's never going to be the same. And for me, like I said in yesterday's video, we lived together on our own. So for me, life as I knew it completely changed. I wasn't living with her anymore. I had to move house. There was talks of moving schools, but luckily for me, not a lot changed. We got a house round the corner, but she was gone. And as someone who'd depended on one person for the whole life, it was a big change. But I think children do adapt. You kind of get told what to do, don't you? You're led. Where I think as an adult, you're the one that has to make the plans and make the arrangements. And I think that kind of maybe helped a little bit, because I was just kind of guided through the whole process instead of having to make these decisions. And I went back to school in the June. I went to France, which yesterday I said I picked a French phrase book up. So I'd gone back to school within like that 6 month period, where they didn't expect me to go back until the following school year. So I think I did really well. But then that was it. That was just life. And yeah, I'd get upset and I'd grieve, but I got back into the swing of things. So they were my first 3 stages, and I think that's standard grief stages. It's the next 3 where things became quite painful. Stage 4 for me was the hardest one out of them all. Stage 4 for me is anger, resentment, hatred, some might say. So 4 years later, I was about 13, and I was doing homework for science at school. homework was to find acids in the home. So as you can imagine, 13-year-old me pulling drawers out, medication, cleaning products, anything in the house to do this homework. And at the bottom of a drawer in my granddad's bedroom was an envelope addressed to me. Never seen the envelope before. Wish I hadn't seen it, I'll be honest. And inside the envelope was notes that she'd wrote just before she decided to do what she did to me, telling me how sorry she was. It wasn't my fault. She wished there'd been another way. She'd suffered for 36 years and didn't want to suffer for 36 more. And I collapsed, fell to the floor. I'd heard rumours at school. I got teased a little bit about it, but obviously I didn't know at the time, but it had been in the paper after the inquest, so everyone else was talking about it. It floored me. It floored me, and I hated her. I started ripping up pictures, burning things, vowed to never ever speak her name again, and it really knocked me off my feet. And from that moment, I was so angry at everybody, at her for doing what she'd done and left me knowing I'd be on my own. I was angry at everybody else because they'd lied to me, and then that then led me to stage 5. But during stage 4, drink became my best friend, and I was only 13, and I've never really spoke about this before. And I think that's where my bad habit with drink came from, because I never drank to enjoy it. I drank to numb a pain. And then that created problems later on in life. So stage 5 for me was disappointment, regret, guilt. And again, it was another thing that really laid heavy. Was it because of me, and that's why everyone had lied to me? Was there more to the story that I didn't know? Why had she chose to do it, and why hadn't I seen the warning signs? Because I was living with her. So I was so disappointed in myself, and I felt so guilty that I could have stopped it, but I was 9. So I was never going to. I see that now, but I didn't see it then. And again, it was so toxic, it laid so heavy, but it was just a really, really difficult thing to overcome. And then stage 6, I don't know if this is just personal to me, or if this is something that a lot of people who've been bereaved by in this way feel, and it's abandonment. So there was a lot of times when I thought, like I said, linking to stage 5, was it me? Is it me that was the problem? If she hadn't have had me, would that have still happened? And just knowing that emotion was going to sit there forever, I found really, really difficult. So then I struggled with everything in life, thinking, if my mum could leave me, everyone's going to. And that took a lot of work, and even now to this day, it's kind of always a worst case situation, you know. But stage 6 is something that I will have to battle with, I think, for all my life possibly. So them 6 stages are my stages. So I don't know if that's going to help, but I am willing to talk about it as much as anybody wants me to. But again, thank you so much for listening, and tomorrow we will go into the next subject.